going over all my fishing stuff. Alright, so it's a little bit of a mess, but we got our rod sleeves. Make sure all these guys don't break. We got our crankbaits first. These are my crankbaits that I got that are not in this big thing, getting ready for Georgia. All my jerk baits that are not in that big thing. Ow. So this one, that's pretty good for winter. This is one of my favorites. This one's decent, not bad, not good. And then this, I really like this one. If you want to troll behind like a kayak or something, that's really good. These are my jigs. They're not in that big thing. Getting ready to go to Georgia. So jig slash like bottom baits for bumping. So we got this thing, kind of like a sand eel. I use that in Costa Rica and stuff. I got a white one. Got a few with a little rattle in it. I don't know if you can hear that. There we go. Little ones for smallmouth. Let's see those. Fluorescent ones. Here. This is a good one right here. Come on. One with a little craw on it. Another fluorescent. Another tiny one with a little bitty. I think it's a micro craw from Guggen. Then I got another one that I use on the bottom. Kind of like a little Ned Brig thing. With a weed guard. I don't use that much though. This is another one. No, it's not. What is there? It's just a football. Just a football jig. Pretty nice. Then we got some top water. All the top water's down in there. I'll show you that soon. Buzz toad. I got a whopper plopper. What's up in the whopper plopper section? Not in with the spook. I don't know why I did that. Maybe it doesn't fit. Interesting. A little spook. I really like throwing spooks. Our little purple whopper plopper. Micro frog. There we go. Here's a nice little thing. That's for saltwater. Whopper plopper with the improvised hook thing. So apparently this split ring was bent out, and so I got another split ring. And I think it might fail, and so I put some braid on it. So if it fails, I'm still gonna catch the fish. Let's see here. This is for big fish. I've got a little swim bait, never thrown that. I got a little paddle tail, never used that. That might be good though. Chatterbait, I like throwing this. Rat, pretty decent. I caught a 4.5 on that down at the local ponds. These are my micro lures. So I've got bladed jigs. More bladed jigs. I got a lot of bladed jigs for walleye. Here's a little jigging spoon, which I've used a few times for crappie. Caught a few nice crappie on it. This thing, which I don't think I'll ever use, but yeah. Let's see. This little thing, caught a few crappie on that. This is actually one of my favorite lures for crappie. It's got a little kicker on the back. I also caught a few walleye down at Shelbyville. rattle traps that aren't in there for Georgia, and terminal tackle. So some jig heads, bullet weights of all different sizes. I think I've got 3. There's the tiny ones. This right here, that's a bullet or a punching thing, so you throw that on weeds. And these, Nico rigging on the wacky rig. Little nail weights. I think they're 1/32 ounce is what I use. And just hooks. I got some more hooks than these right here. Just missed it completely. That's a Hoover rig. That's for live scoping. That should be pretty nice. More hooks. That's my terminal tackle. Found some really cheap line, so I got some line. I'll be able to put that on. I got 10 and 15 pound. That'll be for spinning reels, and I got 6 of them, and I've already used 2 of them. And I got a few more things of line in there. I got 20 pound. That's for bait casters. I got some 65 pound for frogs. 8 pound for little micro spinning reels, which actually is broke, so we won't be using that. And then what else we got? We got some bait for trout. This stuff I used a little bit and a decent amount this season and caught nothing on it. Also some power bait, also caught nothing on that. Thought it was like cheating, and it's not. Got some reach tails, blazing worms. What else do I got? Here's an A-rig, circle hooks, big old bull wheel. That's nice. But yeah, I might catch some good ones. Then I got this. This is nearly a $100 scale. It's touchscreen, so that's nice. It's got a clamp at the bottom. This, which I've only caught a few on, what's it called? Monster Legend Spook, maybe? I don't know, I forgot. I haven't used that in a while. Then I got some spooks right here. Those are nice. I'm gonna bring 2 spooks to Georgia. See if I can't get on a good bite down there. This thing. So it's like a chatterbait, but it's got a hair jig on it. So when you're fishing it and you pause it, this will come down and this will all spread out. Never used it before. I just got it last week from a buddy. Snagging hooks. I've got a lake near me that has got some monster Asian carp, and it's the only way to come. This big old guy, I caught a 3-pounder on him. Flukes, walleye jigs, that's what I throw on them. Little lures for drop shots. There's, what are those? This little, call them the goat, kind of like a buzz toad. Those are nice. There's a little craw looking thing. Then we'll get to, let's do this. Here's a bunch of soft plastics. So, you got your craws. Those are good trailers. You got paddle tails. That's what all these are. Finesse things. And they should be worms, I think. Yep. Worms. Alright, so some of you said, Aurora just said in the chat, give me some tips on a bait caster. So, Let's see if I can't do that. I'll set you guys up right here really quickly. This might take a second really quickly. Come on. There we go. Is that good? Are we not going to be moving? Alright, so we'll pull out Baitcaster. This is Shimano SLX 150 XG. This is my frogging rod, so I have 65-pound braid on it. One tip that I can give you to not backlash as much is, so let's see if I can turn you guys a little bit. When you're dropping your bait, I'll walk away from the screen. Still can't see it. Alright, it's fine. So, when you're dropping your bait, you can see it, mine's down. I like to keep mine on low, like on the tension knob. I put that down low, right here. That's the tension knob. You can put that up higher if you keep backlashing. Mine's like, it would go up a bunch if I wanted it to. So what I do is I just like, when I cast it, I put my thumb when I'm casting. Come on, it's in the bike. So when I'm casting, I'll put my thumb and slow the spool down. If you feel like it's about a backlash, you'll cast it enough and you'll be able to understand when it's about a backlash. And then also throwing heavier line sometimes isn't the best idea, especially if you're a beginner. And sometimes I would just throw like, if you're using a bait caster, you know what kind of bait caster you have? I'm not catching anything right now. I'm just showing tips. Do you know what kind of bait caster you have? Like a medium, heavy, light, medium. You don't know what type it is? Okay. Can you look at the rod and see, like, it should have right here. It should say what power it is. This is a heavy for frogging. 7.5 foot medium maybe. Okay, so for medium I would throw like 12 or 15 pound line maybe. That'd be good. And you could throw like a crankbait. That'd be decent for a medium. And that's what I throw on my medium. I only have one medium. I throw a crank on it. I'm not fishing at all, Travis. I'm just showing tips and showing my setup. So, I would throw like 12, 15 pound line on it and then a crank. That's what I would do for bait caster fishing. But, yeah. Do you have any spinning reels? Do I fish for peacocks? I've not caught a peacock bass yet. I wish. That'd be cool. Down in Florida, that'd be super cool. I fish for largemouth and smallmouth and other bass, and I've caught 99 species so far. So one more to get to 100. Yeah. There's not that many fishing places in Indiana that are the best. There's a few good ones. I can't name one off the top of my head. I don't live in Indiana. I live in Illinois, so I don't know many places in Indiana. I know that if you want to go to Sugar Creek by forgot. Yeah, Sugar Creek. That one's really good. I like fishing for smallmouth down there. I would throw like a medium or maybe, a medium spinning rod. That's what this is. This is 7'3". So I'd throw a 7'2", 7'4" for smallmouth. And then you could also throw like a light for smallmouth. Light fishing for smallmouth is super, super fun. And then yeah. And then Sugar Creek also has a bunch of suckers. So if you want to throw a worm on the bottom, then there's going to be a bunch of stuff down in there on the bottom. You cut an 8-pound catfish. That's nice. Yeah, that's a good one. What is he? Channel Flathead Blue? Do you know what type of catfish it was? Channel catfish, flathead catfish, or blue catfish? Thomas? Flathead? Nice. And Robert? Freshwater lures can definitely be used in saltwater. They might not be the best, but like, I'm pretty sure that this right here technically is a freshwater lure, but I throw it for like jacks and stuff. I went to Costa Rica, so I threw that a little bit. And it's not like some lures obviously you wouldn't throw, like a jig you probably wouldn't throw like that. You would not throw that in salt water probably. I assume not. Where are you going to saltwater fishing? Spoons are really good. If you have any like freshwater spoons, those are pretty nice. So yeah, and then I got some grease for the reels. That made my reels run 10 times smoother. If you haven't got grease for your reels, definitely do that. And then what else is there? I got my hats up here. I'll take you guys off this again. Robert, you went fishing in Ireland? Jeez. I've never fished in Ireland. Yeah, no. I never fished in Ireland. I got my hats. My good scale. All my stuff right there. And I got my rods. So I got like my Shimano SLX XG. I got the Phage. What is it? Fate. That one I really like. I used it earlier today and caught a 4-pounder on it. 3-pounder. And then this is the Shimano Caius, I think is what you said. And it worked out for me pretty well. It's like an $80 reel. And it was okay, but it's very quickly not worked the best, and I don't like it anymore. I barely throw it. I threw a crank on this one. Right out in the tackle box for Georgia. So, I got some spooks, kind of like popping spooks, some jerk baits. I know that jerk baits are running pretty good for down there, I think. Crankbaits, it's a deep diver. I got some more little jerk baits. The Guggenhound, I don't like that one, but I think I might throw it a little bit. Another jerk bait, that's one of my favorites for winter time. I don't know if I'll throw it at all, but yep. Another deep diver, I got some jigs. Crankbait, spook, rattle trap, or lipless, whatever you want to call it. Crank, lipless, crank. Aurora, I think you should fish in Sugar Creek, Indiana. It's kind of close to Illinois. I drive to it about once a year. And that place has got some really good smallmouth and suckers. I've caught like 8 species out of there. So I got a bull shad. Why in the world do I have a bladed jig in here? I don't know. I'll probably take that out soon. Then I got this little spook thing. crankbait. Everything for kind of jigging. Nail weights. A hound. Not a hound. This is just a spook. Might throw that. Kind of like a wobble head. Crank. This is a really nice crank. I was catching some good ones at Clennon for the state tournament, which we got second, if you guys didn't know. This, might throw that a little bit. I know there's some good herring. Mr. Rich, I'm setting up for, I'm going to nationals for Georgia. So, for the junior division. So, hope that we can win that. I got a bunch of jigs. I know that natural, I think, is going to be pretty good. I think blue also might be pretty good. But I brought some white. And I brought mop jigs. We might throw that a little bit. And then, what else do we got? Let's see. Kind of like a little whopper plopper thing. Might throw that a little bit. Tons of plastic. So we got these kind of like nukes. Worms. These are the same. No, okay, I didn't think so. Kind of like a craw. Bandito bugs. Rage tails. More nukes. Missile baits. These are my favorite for a chatterbait for trailer. And then what else we got? Here are the missile baits. I'll bring out one of these really quickly. All good. Here we go. Here's a missile bait. It's nice. These are my favorite. No gulp at all. Nah, I don't throw gulp. Missile baits. Net baits. It's like a craw. Really nice craw. I use these for jigs as trailers. Also done on Texas rigs. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Keepers. And then we got here, I got my stick baits for wacky rigs. These are all things that I make. Right over there. I did a live on that like 5 to 6 days ago. What fish go after missile? Bass. Like you could throw it on a Texas rig, or you could put it behind a trailer on a jig or a chatterbait. And then we got a little spinner up here for trout, if I want to catch trout. I caught some good trout earlier. And then here are my stick baits that I make. They're just normal for wacky rigs, Nico rigs, whatever you want to throw. We got little crappie minnows. Got some tiny hooks for micro fishing. They're pretty tiny. And that's about it. Alright, I think we'll end this. And that's where we'll stop it. Alright, see you guys.